good morning. Good Wednesday morning it is. May the 6th, 2025. And it's raining again. It's raining. Hey, we're getting rain. We're getting rain where I'm at. Everybody's getting rain, I think, all over the country damn near. But anyway, it's raining in my world. All kinds of stuff to do and can't do it. Thank God I got my mowing caught up and we ain't caught up. But anyway, I just left the table of knowledge, and I posted a deal on Facebook that people reading I was typing the deal on Facebook, about the table of knowledge. Really wanted to start doing this, get my YouTube channel more active, get back going on YouTube. But so I thought I ain't gonna post that. I pissed too many people off. I mean, I shouldn't say, I don't know how to say that, but I don't really piss them off. But I got 900 and some people on Facebook, friends, and they read that table of knowledge every morning. That's dumb, he's an idiot, he posted this on. So I'm putting it on YouTube, and you watch it, you click on it, or that's like YouTube. I mean, Facebook, they can scroll right on by if they didn't want to read it, but I thought I'd give you my ugly ass on the screen on the mornings and give you the report. It'll be a day late every day, so like yesterday's was posted this morning. But anyway, somebody asked me the other day, said, how in the hell do you guys come up with them nicknames? Well, let me tell you a little story. Back when I was a kid, back when I was young, I mean, we hung out, kind of goes all back to that corner store, we all hung out and bullshitted, and all the neighbors knew each other, and everybody knew each other, and everybody give each other a nickname, and hell, I can remember some old nicknames back then. This one old farmer, they called him Goose Dick, and I have no idea why. And they had well rope, and I think that guy borrowed a lot of money, and he was always in debt, so they called him Well Rope. I'm not sure, but there's been Skidmore, and I don't know why they called him Skidmore. I think he came in and he always had grease on his overalls, on his ass where he sat down all the time. Got grease on his overalls, so they called him Skidmore and thought it was something else. I don't know. But anyway, some of our nicknames in the morning, I mean, where I go down there and gather it sometimes, get all the education I call it the table of knowledge. We got one guy down there, you ever seen a dog, and like an old bulldog or something, and his eyelids are kind of drooped, and he always looks sad? Well, his name's Sad Eyes. He's kind of an Indian feller, but he's a lot of fun, and hell, we call him Sad Eyes. Hell, I don't even know his real name, but he's a lot of fun in the mornings, he always comes up with some good stories. And then another nickname, you heard me talk about this on Facebook, we call him Stump. He's married, been married for, I don't know, probably damn near 60 years. His wife's meaner than hell, or she ain't mean, but she keeps his ass lined out all the time, and we call him Stump anyway, and I guess he had that nickname before I started going there. But he's kind of an old, he ain't slow, but I don't know how he got the name Stump, but they call him Stump. But his wife here a while back, if you're reading my Facebook page on my table of knowledge news, I don't know, it's been a while back, I just remember this, that he was in trouble. He got in real bad trouble. He with his wife. The wind blowed one night, had a little storm come through, and she had a new car, and the city trash cart rolled into it, put a dent in it. And Stump had just drove that car, I think, to go to the drugstore, Walmart or something, and he come back, and she walked around her car to see that dent, and oh my God, she lit into him. It was, just kind of, you had to be there type deal, funny story, but he was in trouble. We got this other guy, he's I don't know if he's Indian or he's an old hippie from way back, but he's still got long hair, and a lot of times he wears now that's Chief Setting Bull. You've heard me talk about Chief Setting Bull on Facebook, and We call him Chief Setting Bull, but anyway, he might be Indian, I don't know, but he's got a long ponytail, you know, when you see him in the daytime. But in the mornings, he's got his hair all loose. It's kind of a mullet. It ain't really over here at the side, it's down in the middle, you know, it looks like a horse's tail in the middle. So we call him the mile mullet, because the mile comes in. Oh, boys, I walked my mile this morning. He come in the crack of dawn. Yeah, boys, I got up and I walked my mile this morning. They used to just call him Mile. I've been a year ago, they was calling him just Mile. And now he's got that mullet. Of course, he's let his hair grow. For an old man, it's funny because, man, he's got that long, I think he might dance or something, powwows or something, but they call him Mullet, Mile Mullet. So that's just kind of some of the nicknames, you know, but it's kind of fun. And then we got one guy, you know, he's kind of, I wouldn't say lazy. You might watch this. I'm sorry there. I'm sorry talking about you, but you guys don't give a crap, you know. But we call him the Recliner King. Now, the only reason we call him the Recliner King is, you know, hell, the way he talks, he always sits in the recliner and watches TV all day, you know. And he could work, you know, he's a hell of a machinist. I used to be a machinist. But we call him Recliner King. And then we got the callous fingertips. That don't get talked about very much, but there's one guy there, they used to call him Callous Fingertips. And, you know, if a man worked hard, if you shake hands with a man, he's got calluses on his hand, you know, he's a working bastard, you know. But this guy, he's got calluses on the end of his fingers. And at first, when you see his fingers, boy, there's calloused, you know, you'd think, man, he's a guitar player. Well, he's not. He worked for an electric company, worked in a control room and ran around on a roller chair and pushed buttons. And that's how he said he got the calluses on his fingertips. But I still think he plays guitar, because I can't see a pushing button give you callus. I don't know. So many buttons might. I know some of these women, you know, they're on a computer all day, and then, hell, they don't have calluses on their fingers. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on. I just kind of wanted to get with some questions. Kind of the talk this morning was, I don't know, we got into church stuff, and I usually don't talk about church or politics, but we got into some church stuff this morning, you know, and somebody went to church, and they ain't going back to church, and they ain't going back to that church, and I don't know, it was kind of a deal over church. And there's something else, man, I'll tell you what, if you ever get a chance, you know, in your area or whatever, it's a lot of fun to get up in the mornings. I look forward to it, to get up in the mornings, go sit around the old man and talk about life, you know, and what's going on. And everybody's got a different opinion, you know. It's kind of like me, you know, I think a lot different than other people, but I don't know. There's my old buddy Gilroy. I'll be damned. Hey, Gilroy, what's going on? He's out there on the chat pile, dozing away, running his loader. But anyway, somebody went to church, and I guess he walked in or something, and he hadn't been to church in a long time. He walked in, and this old gal met him at the door. And I don't know if she was the deacon or the elder's wife or something, and she's always, I guess she's, you know, I'm not talking about nobody, but I guess she's always got her nose in somebody else's business. And she walked up to him. Oh, I've been praying for you, George. I've been praying for you. Oh, George, I've been praying for you. You know, and he just took it wrong. He got all pissed off. And he said, you know, by God, they don't have to judge me for not coming to church all the time. And I come to church, felt a mood. My mood was to take me to the church, and hell, they met me at the front door and said, man, we've been praying for you. You know, you missed all that church. That's how he thought it. He got all mad and everything about it. And he said he ain't going back. And I don't know, you know, I don't get into politics or church when I'm talking table talk, but, you know, I've been there and done it. You know, I've stood at the pulpit and preached before. You I did some weddings, some funerals in my day, and back when I got ordained one time when I was younger, and I know the Word of God. I know the Word of God, and I understand that. There's a lot of people, they choose not to go to church, but they're believers, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as you believe in Jesus, and you've been saved, and your heart's into Jesus, hey, that's a good deal, But there's a lot of people that go to church that never read the Bible, I don't think. I shouldn't say that, and I said I'd never talk about this on my table talk, but there's a lot of people that, have been in church all their life, and I guess they ever wonder if they ever read the Bible, they run more people off than they take and, hug and kiss and love on, and I've seen it. I've seen it. I came into church here, I don't know, about a year ago. I used to go to church every Sunday. Always dress up, I had Wrangler jeans on and nice Western shirt. I never did actually wear a suit unless it was like Easter or a special occasion. But anyway, I wore a pair of overalls in church here. I don't know, it's been a few months ago, back in the winter time. I decided, well, just go to church, try it out, see what's going on there. Hell, I walked in, had overalls on, and I'd put a pair of overalls on. That was a pretty new pair that I wore, but one day I'd put them on, and I was caulking some windows when I wasn't planning on working that day, doing any construction work. But this lady called me up, and I was caulking some windows, and I had some caulking on my finger, and I barely wiped it down here about where my pliers pocket is, and I guess it never really came out in the wash. And I knew it was there, a little white spot about that big, on the side of my new overalls. And this lady called me out for having a spot or paint on my overalls coming to church. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You actually see that lady? So I was just like, man, I ain't going back to that church. I prayed for them. They probably prayed for me, but I prayed for them, and one lady, she'd try to keep you at church, this other church I went to one time, and she'd always make you chocolate chip cookies, and about every time, every other week or so, she'd have a plate of chocolate chip cookies, a little, not a big plate, but a little plate, keep you coming, and hell, I was thinking she was trying to get me real fat or something, so, no, but she had some good cookies, but, it's, I don't know, it's, everybody's for their own self, so, anyway, I'm headed to Oklahoma this morning, raining, not raining hard, but it's been raining a little bit. I'm headed to Oklahoma to do a little electric project, maybe a faucet project, and go back home and see what else. I got some more electric projects to do. Pete's sitting there, and I don't want to get run over by him, but I'm going down a narrow highway here in Oklahoma. You ever notice the roads in Oklahoma compared to Kansas? Man, I'll tell you what, we got some pretty decent roads, but boy, you get to Oklahoma and you can sure tell you're in Oklahoma, especially when you cross the state line. Now, when it comes to snow removal, their roads are better. Our roads suck. They don't know how to clean the snow, but, oh man, there's a big old tree uprooted. That's where that little tornado came through, I think. But anyway, I want everybody to have a nice, productive day. I do preach a lot on productive. Be productive. Don't be lazy. A lot of these guys retiring early, and hell, they sit around and do nothing. Your body was meant to move. It's therapy, you might say. Y'all been to physical therapy, break a leg or break an arm or have a muscle out, and the doctor sends you to physical therapy. It's the same thing. When you're supposed to get out, work, have physical therapy. every day, So try to get up, get out and about. Even if you do limp a little bit, that limp will go away after you get started. You ever get in a vehicle and ride down the road? Boy, I'm riding down the road and I get on the job site and I get out. It takes me a good 5 minutes to get going, but that's part of that. Get up and move. If you sit in a chair all day, you sit in a chair all day, like be watching Andy Griffith, like I talk about, like the recliner king watching Andy Griffith, sitting there all day long. Well, that blood ain't pumping, that blood ain't moving. Get up, man. You look like you're 100 years old going to the bathroom or something, Looked at your watch, hey, I got to poop. So he runs to the bathroom. Well, he can't run, he gets limps, But it's very important to get that body up in the morning and get to moving. Get to moving, Do something productive. Well, I'm almost to my site where I'm going to work today, and it ain't probably been the best episode of the Table of Knowledge this morning, but I'll have some good ones on there, and keep them coming. And man, the old interstate is busy this morning. Woo, going over I-44 corridor. The old I-44 corridor, as the weatherman says. Hey, that's funny. It's raining. It's harder on the south side of I-44. Well, ain't that something? But anyway, I'm going to get out of here and go to work, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning. And remember, if you got somebody calls you by name, you got a nickname or whatever, everybody's got to have a nickname or something, and all that good stuff. Or anyway, I'll catch you later. Have a good day.